AM 1260 KLYC, a very good morning, 7:33 the time. We'll be checking in with Thad Brill in just a moment on the Morning Stock Market Report. Right now we're going to check in with Stan Primozich, who is in our studios live, and he is running for position 1 Yamhill County Commission. Stan, welcome to KLYC once again.
Thank you, Dave.
Why are you running for County Commission?
Well, Dave, I've lived in Yamhill County for 31 years, moved here with my family from Arizona, and Yamhill County has provided us a quality of life that I don't think we could find anyplace else. There's a beauty here that is just amazing. I had 6 children, and my wife passed away after 40 years of marriage. A year later, God blessed me with Janice, who came into my life and brought with her a 7th child and 3 grandchildren. So we now have 7 children, 13 grandchildren. All 7 of those children graduated from McMinnville High School, and we are deeply invested in the community and the way of life here. So the purpose of running for Yamhill County Commissioner is the quality of life that my family and I have enjoyed, I want to see continue. I'd like to see future generations have the opportunity to live in a community that really values life, values the quality of life, and I want to see that continue. We've been blessed to have tremendous county commissioners, and I want to continue that tradition.
Okay. More on a conversation with Stan Primozich. He is running for position 1 Yamhill County Commission. We'll continue with that in just a moment. Right now, let's go to the phones as we do at this time every weekday morning. Check in with Thad Brill. Thad, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you, my friend?
Hey, doing all right. Still building the ark. Tell Stan to make it quit raining, will you?
How much have you built so far?
Got 2 boards put together.
Okay. Well, don't lose your keys.
Okay. Not this week, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you about it. I haven't lost my way when it comes to the market. I'm going to flash you back to yesterday if I could, as U.S. stocks closed higher for the 6th day in a row as healthcare rallied amid $45.5 billion offer to buy Allergen. At the closing bell, the Dow Industrials were up 65 points, which stopped the index at 16,541 and takes us into this morning. Right now, the Dow has given up 10 points to 16,503. NASDAQ's down 23 points to 4138. A few stocks of local interest. Schnitzer Steel up 20 cents to $28.07. Intel up a penny to $26.85. Nike up a dime to $74.45. Boeing up $2.44 to $129.99. Nordstrom's up 32 cents to $61.14, and U.S. Bank up 19 cents to $40.83. If you'd like a current quote on a stock or an interest rate, please call us at 472-0444. Visit Thad Brill with Edward Jones at 715 Northwest Adams Street, right here in McMinnville. Members of both the New York Stock Exchange Incorporated, SIPC, brings the report on KLYC.
Well, thank you very much, Thad, and good luck on your ARC project.
Well, thank you. You take care now, Dave.
Okay, bye-bye. AM 1260 KLYC, and thank you very much, Thad. We listen to his report every weekday morning at 7:36 a.m. and find out what's going on in the stock market report. And then, of course, we have Kevin Gebhardt in the 3 o'clock hour, right about 3:06, and then at 5:30 p.m. as we take a look at the closing market. In the studios live, back to Stan Primozich. He's running for position 1, Yamhill County Commission. So, Stan, what sets you apart from the other candidates? This is a pretty crowded field for position 1. As the people look at the ballot, why should they vote for Stan?
Well, Dave, as you indicated, it is a crowded ballot, and each one of the gentlemen running brings to the position some element that I think is needed. I think with the experiences I've had in my life, the number of boards that I've served on with multi-million-dollar budgets, the number of years I've dedicated to volunteering for various entities within the community, I have broadened the scope of my abilities. My business background, I was in district management with J.C. Penney Company for 10 years. I've owned 2 small businesses of my own, a men's clothing store and an ice cream parlor, which is quite interesting. And I also have been 31 years in financial planning with the Prudential. So I've got a very broad and good background in managing people, managing money, and I think that those are characteristics that are much needed. Also, having 7 children and 13 grandchildren gives you a different perspective. But we have a real vitality in this community and in the Yamhill County that I want to see kept alive. And I think I bring to the table the ability to communicate, the ability to collaborate, and the ability to cooperate. And I think these are 3 elements that are critical in moving the county forward.
What are the top issues facing Yamhill County?
Well, I think it's not just Yamhill County, but every county is. There's been budget constraints for quite some time, trying to do more with less, and it has taken some really good management on the part of our county commissioners to keep the county running as well as it has. We've been very fortunate in Yamhill County to have some fiscally conservative people running our county, and they've done a tremendous job, and I think that the balance of commissioners needs to be maintained. We need that conservative posture to make certain that we are using our funds adequately and focusing the attention with our resources where they need to be focused. And I think, again, with the background I've got, I am very capable of providing that kind of leadership.
What about economic development? There's been a lot of discussion on precision ag, the robots, little Wally that's been running around the vineyards here in the Willamette Valley, demonstrations. We had the big show at Evergreen Aviation Space Museum, a lot of high-tech gadgets. We've talked to a number of people in the vineyard and other industries, and they told us how these devices and this new technology will benefit their fields and their production. Right. So there's precision ag as part of the economic development picture. There's other things. As we look at economic development in Yamhill County, what rises to the top of your list, and what do you think about?
Well, obviously economic development is critical to every area, and I think we have so much to offer here in Yamhill County. We have to develop and we have to create and continue to develop a business-friendly culture in Yamhill County. We have to let businesses know that if they come here, we're going to be able to provide the resources necessary, and by that I mean space available for buildings already available to move into, to develop their businesses. We have to be able to give them assurances that we're not going to overload them with fees and taxes that are going to make it less desirable to move here. We also have to have a good working relationship with our community colleges to be certain that we can provide the workforce that we need to attract businesses here. You mentioned the high-tech farming, agricultural, precision agriculture. These are important industries, and we have, obviously, we have a world-class wine industry that is a part of a larger agricultural base. Our agricultural base has been the backbone of our economy since the start of McMinnville and Newburgh, this West Valley, and will continue to be. I mean, we're going to build off of that base, and precision tech or agriculture is another way of building on the agricultural base that's here. I think that the county commissioners are doing a great job right now in moving us toward greater economic development. They produced the Grow Report, or they commissioned the Grow Report, which gave them a really good overall view of what's available here in Yamhill County. They hired a part-time economic development director who really has some great vision. I think those pieces are part of moving us forward in a strong economic development mentality, and we have to just continue to develop that culture throughout the county, because you mentioned earlier the Wallace Bridge project, and that project could have been so beneficial to West Valley, which is an area in our community that was very hard hit by the timber industry falling apart. And then we have government agencies that we really don't know who reports to who, but they have been able to stymie that project to the point where there's every likelihood we could lose it, and that would be, there are millions of dollars that could have come into West Valley that won't because of government overreach, and I'm very saddened by the fact that we allow these things to happen.
So the reason why we keep bringing Wallace Bridge up, we of course have taken a very strong position. We want to spend a lot of time on this because we want to talk about your candidacy. But we view this. We had a long conversation one day. We had an hour-long conversation with officials from the National Natural Resources Conservation Service, and we were told essentially that it wasn't their job to promote jobs or economic development. That if we wanted to do that, then we'd have to change the Farm Bill. And we said, well, let's take a look at the big picture. They also talk about the compelling public need and the benefit to what's called the Wetland Reserve Program. In looking at the Wallace Bridge project, we think that it does benefit the WRP and can bring jobs. So why can't we look at taking a look at this? They've made exceptions for sturgeon in Mississippi, and there's been occasions in other parts of the country where they have straightened a road for safety reasons,
right,
that they've created easement modifications. But here, they're just saying no. And so, Mike, two reasons. Number one, we'd like to see Wallace Bridge come. But faced with a situation like this, as an example, when you see something like this,
right,
as a county commissioner, how do you respond to that?
Well, I think we have to build strong relationships with our state government officials and strong relationships with our federal government officials, and we need to be constantly knocking on their doors and demanding that they use their positions to bring pressure on agencies such as the Environmental Protection Agency that pretty much oversees all of these various groups, and tell them that we need to sit down at the table and work together, because these are the kinds of projects that can help our economy move forward, but also we can work to make sure we are protecting our environment. We do obviously need wetlands. We need to maintain, but let's make certain we're doing it in the right way. And one of the problems with the no mentality that you see in some of these agencies is they're not willing to sit down at the table and look at the whole picture. Everything in our environment is systemic, and we can work together to come out with outcomes that are positive for everyone, but not if people come to the table with no as the answer. And so consequently, I think it's building a cooperative and collaborative group to work with, and I think it's possible. Is it happening right now? No, but I think that just by being that squeaky door that gets the oil, I think that we can bring pressure to bear, utilizing all of our resources, and by that I mean our elected officials, because they do have a certain circle of influence, and if we can bring those influences together, I think we'd have more positive outcomes.
We'll probably be posting this email. It was written Wednesday, May 16th. From Barry Williams, NRCS Portland, and sent to Bill White, NRCS Portland. We are supposed to say no to modification requests unless there is a gross technical error in the original survey. Thanks, Barry Williams, Easement Program Specialist, USDA, NRCS, Oregon, 1201 Lloyd Boulevard, Suite 900, Portland. This was obtained for Freedom of Information Act request from J.W. Milligan, who is the proponent of Wallace Bridge. Anyway,
that is exactly what I'm mentioning, or I said, David, that it's that no mentality, so let's not even talk about it. The answer is no. And when you have that kind of mentality, nothing can move forward. We've got to break that. We've got to stop allowing agencies that have very little oversight, half the time nobody knows who reports to who, but everybody has this same idea. That's not our job, so we're not going to get involved in it. And it is all of our jobs, and we've got to make certain that we bring the pressure to bear to make them listen to us. We've got, like we said, Wallace Bridge could be a very important component to the West Valley of Yamhill County. Even though it's not located in Yamhill County, it would dramatically affect the quality of life in that end of our county. And we need to take that seriously, and we need to get on the stick and make certain that people are listening to us.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other issues affecting Yamhill County. Medical marijuana dispensaries. Yesterday at the Sheriff's Forum, in fact, we'll have Tim Svensson this morning, and at 8 o'clock this morning we'll be talking about that again. Your position on medical marijuana dispensaries. All of the candidates for sheriff essentially said they do not think it's a good idea, but we need to move forward and create policies. They all agree with the moratorium in place until there's a clearer definition on how state and federal laws are going to hopefully work together in this rather sticky issue. Yeah. What's your position on medical marijuana dispensaries?
Well, I think that medical marijuana, if we're going to use that terminology and not the use of marijuana for pleasure, if it's a medical condition and a doctor prescribes that as your medicine, then you should go to where you get prescribed medicine. We already have dispensaries. I get a prescription from my doctor. I take it to my local pharmacy. The local pharmacy fills that prescription. I take it home and I take my medication. I don't think that if this is a prescribed medicine that it should be treated any differently. We already have dispensaries, and they're run in a quality manner. They're great oversight. I don't see any need for creating a whole new level of government and oversight for something that we already have in place. If we're talking about marijuana use for other purposes, then I think we've got a different issue on the table.
As we take one of the things talking about medical marijuana, the sheriff's candidates, all three of them, said what we're probably looking at in Oregon is, hopefully we don't go as fast as Colorado, but we probably are looking at eventually having it legalized for recreational use in Oregon. That's what they're perceiving we're headed into the future. They're all three concerned about it. We'll talk about it in the next half hour. So faced with that eventuality, if it does happen, as a county commissioner, how would you do
my personal views are I do not think that we need marijuana, but there are many people who would disagree with that. But it's not an issue we're going to be dealing with in the very near future that I see. But if it comes, as an elected official, one of the things you do say is, I swear to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States and the state of Oregon. Therefore, I have to abide by that if I take that oath of office. So if it becomes the law of the land, then I certainly have to work with hopefully seeing to it that it's done in a manner that we can all live with. Again, communication, cooperation, collaboration, that's how we're going to get to the table and come together with a viable way of dealing with all of these laws that we may agree or disagree with, but if it does become the law, then we have to abide by it. We can all work to have our positions known, and hopefully the will of the people will be such that we can live with the decisions made.
Talking about another thorny issue, throwing some hardballs here at you this morning. Second Amendment, gun rights. There's a number of people out there that are concerned that eventually the federal government might come and take your guns. There's people that are concerned about that. The sheriffs, every time there's a sheriff's forum, that's asked. We'll ask it again this morning at 8. What's your position on that?
Well, you know, the people who want all of these laws change to their particular lifestyle, they find ways of making the Constitution sound like it doesn't exist. When it comes to firearms, immediately they want to forget that there is a Second Amendment to the Constitution. I believe that people have the right to bear arms. I think that we need to also have a little common sense in the utilization of our firearms. But I do believe that I don't want just the criminals armed. And if we make bearing that gun illegal, then just about everybody out there is going to be a criminal because there are a lot of weapons out there that are possessed by very good law-abiding citizens who have them for recreational purposes. They have them for hunting, and some people do eat what they shoot. I think it's just important that we recognize that the Constitution was developed by some forward-thinking people who said that we needed the ability to protect ourselves. And even though I know some people on the East Coast think this is still the wild, wild West, that's not true. But we still do have the ability, and we should have the ability, to bear arms.
Well, we've had sheriffs in other places in the state of Oregon. For example, Polk County, they haven't said as much, but if they only have deputies on patrol 10 hours of the day, the issue of self-defense becomes, in some people's minds, a very real need as a reason to keep and bear arms.
And that's one of the reasons I want to run for Yamhill County Commissioner. I don't want to see us be in a position like Polk County, like a lot of the counties around us. I said a few minutes ago, we have a very, very vibrant community here in Yamhill County. We will continue to have that as long as we're monitoring what's going on. I can't speak to what happened in Polk County, but I would hope that never will be faced with the possibility of having a sheriff's department that can't be on the road 24/7 to protect the citizens of Yamhill County.
In order to keep Yamhill County from following that course, let's take a look at what you would do as a Yamhill County Commissioner to be, I guess we could use the words, fiscally prudent. What about the option of combining the community corrections and the juvenile department that's being discussed in Yamhill County?
I think that there's always room to look at how we can use our resources better and in the most economic way. How can we avoid overlap, additional administrative costs that don't need to be there? I think that it's very, very important that we get the dollars closest to where they're going to impact the behavior of our citizens. County corrections and the juvenile departments are vital to the safety of our community, but also to the welfare of those people they serve. And we need to make sure they're properly funded, but we don't want that funding going to set up offices and administration if we can avoid it. Now, there's a lot of times when you start talking about combining things where you lose efficiencies, and that's not what we want to do. So again, I go back to any decision I would be involved with would be after we sit down and review all of the with all of the stakeholders what our options are. We're always looking for what is best for the citizens of Yamhill County, and that's always the focus. On the school board, it's what's best for the students, but when serving in a position such as Yamhill County Commissioner, it's what is best for all the citizens of Yamhill County.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes left in your segment of the show. Thank you for being with us on KLYC this morning. Yeah. Let's give you a few minutes here to talk about Stan Primozich, the man. Why should people vote Stan Primozich on their ballot, their vote by mail ballot, when it comes in May?
Well, Dave, I think that one of the things that people will get when they get Stan Primozich for their county commissioner is a person that they, number one, will be able to talk to. I'm very open. I have the ability to listen. I have the ability to communicate. I have the ability to collaborate. Again, with the years that I've served on various boards, it has given me the opportunity to see things from different points of view. I come to the table with a set of values that have always been in place with me, and I continue to be loyal to those values. But when I sit down at the table, again, I'm looking at what is best for the constituency that we're dealing with at that point in time. If I'm serving on a board and I've agreed to serve on that board, then I know what the focus of that board is, and I will be true to that, or I won't be there. And I'm running for this position to bring those qualities to the board. We have a strong county now. I want to make it stronger. I think my business background I would bring to the table a very important element. 31 years in financial services, I have a great appreciation for handling other people's money, and I'm now serving the grandchildren of some of the people that I have been working with over those years. So I think I bring loyalty, strong passion for the things that I do, and the people of Yamhill County can rest assured that they will be represented, and that's what a county commissioner should be doing, is representing the people in that county, and that's all of the people. So I think that with Stan Primozich as your Yamhill County Commissioner, you'll have a person you can look to with pride, knowing that he is doing the job that you sent him there to do.
One last question, transparency in county government. Is there more ways, how would you like to see us enable the electorate to communicate with the commissioners? Are there things we could do differently, add? What do you think?
I can't say that I'm totally familiar with all the avenues that are currently in place. I do know that I know where the county commissioner's office is. I know that you can walk in there anytime, and if the commissioner is in, I'm sure you can make an appointment to see them. I think that if people are truly interested in what's going on with the commission, they should be at the county commissioner meetings. Those are public meetings. Anybody can be there and come. If you have a concern, make people aware ahead of time that you have a concern. Most meetings, it's not an open forum because there is an agenda, but there's also a place on the agenda for people to speak given a limited period of time. Don't expect to have your question answered at that time, but at least you'll have the opportunity to raise the question. I believe that the kind of commissioners we have right now are very open to listening to the constituency. Unfortunately, and I've seen it on boards I've served on, people complain about something that they don't like to all of their neighbors, but not to the people who could do something about it. And so please take advantage of the opportunity to address your concerns with your public officials. I don't know of any public official that I'm associated with personally that isn't open to hearing what their constituency wants and has to say. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be agreed with, but at least raise the issue and get somebody to talk to you about it. And once that issue is brought to the table, at least somebody can explain to you why it wouldn't work on a larger scale. But bring the issues up.
Do you have a Facebook page or website where people can go? And obviously there's the statement in the voters pamphlet. You can go to our website, KLYC.us, and we have the arguments in the voters pamphlet, statements from the candidates posted there as well. Where can they go?
Well, I do not have a website currently, Dave, but they can always reach me at 503-472-1412, and my email address is therockor, THEROCKOR, the number 1, at onlinemac.com.
All right. And then you can hear this interview again by going to our website later this morning. We'll have it posted here in a couple of hours. And you can go to news, recent interviews. You'll be able to hear it there. And then we'll also be rotating among the other interviews on the KLYC News channel, which are one of the formats we offer. Just click here to listen live, go to KLYC News channel, and that's another way you can hear it. Stan, thank you for being with us on the show this morning.
Thank you, Dave, for this opportunity. You have a great day.
Okay, thanks. You too.